situation.
Let's discuss a little bit more now. Joining us from Orlando, Florida, our military analyst, retired Lieutenant General Mark Hertling. So do you agree with General Mattis, former commander of the U.S. military's Central Command? He knows that region well. Ambassador Crocker, a former U.S. ambassador to Iraq, he knows the region well. That you basically have to keep all options on the table. You can't remove that combat ground force option.
Yeah, I do, Wolf, and both Ambassador Crocker and General Mattis are two great minds in this area. They're stating it like it is. You know, the American people, they want a plan right now. I think the plan that's emerging is one that's a phased operation with its various sequences to it. In order to have fighters on the ground now, you have to train them now. And it's still going to take time. You know, the Syrian fighters that this bill is attempting to influence with a training mission perhaps in Saudi Arabia, it's going to take months to get them ready. And by that time, the other part of the campaign, the one that is taking place in Iraq right now, will be more developed. So this is all part of a sequenced and executable plan, and I think it's valid.
Here's the problem that I see, and tell me if you agree, that these moderate Syrian rebels, what's their goal? Their goal is to get rid of Bashar al-Assad, the president of Syria, and his regime. Whatever weapons, whatever training the U.S. provides to them, their primary focus is to go after the Syrian military, the Syrian regime, not necessarily ISIS, certainly not al-Nusra, another terrorist group, which parts of the moderate Syrian rebels are actually even aligned with.
Yeah, great point, Wolf, but at the same time, they've got to survive, too. What they're seeing in Syria, when you take a look at what is occurring there, is not only is ISIS expanding in Syria, but they're pushing the Free Syrian Army, which is a more moderate force, aside. So it's got to get to the point where the Free Syrian Army survives, and they will be fighting ISIS in terms of the contention as well as with the Syrian government. So I think just this plan for a continued effort to make them a more capable force, to give them the leadership they require, is not only going to help them eventually against the Syrian government, but it's going to help them in the short term against ISIS.
All right, General Hertling, thanks very much for joining us. We'll continue this conversation.